Fahrenheit, specific gravity equal to 1. So this means if you use for oil, the pump charge should be different, right? So the charge for water and charge for oil doesn't need to be the same. Most of the time they are not the same. Okay? So let's say you want to pump something at 300 gallons per minute. If it is more viscous, you need more power, more horsepower to pump the same amount or same flow rate, right? Okay? So when it's said for water, it is for water. Okay? Head calculation by use of Bernoulli equation. We can calculate the head by use Bernoulli equation too. And Bernoulli equation, you learn about that, and I write it here again. H, head of the system, suction minus discharge. So we have P2 minus P1, HD minus HS plus difference in velocity plus friction part, and D is the friction loss in suction and discharge pipe system. So this one tells for the whole system. So what we have is frictional loss in the suction side and frictional loss in the discharge pipe. So this means everywhere, okay, of the system. Then we get those two numbers. Put it in. Velocity. Most time if you pump from the tank, discharge will be a lot faster than the suction, right? So you may not know the suction velocity. You may say, okay, this part is 0. Okay? Because the liquid in the tank just stays still. So when you put the flow rate, can you calculate velocity based on the flow rate? Can you? Yes, right? Flow rate divided by area, so that gives you velocity. G sub C, I told you already, right? It is just to change the unit from power force to something else. Okay, if you use English unit, just have it. Okay? We have exit pressure and trans pressure, and that is these two. And change in the height, elevation change of the pump impeller. Okay, how much you want to change the elevation from one location to another location. So this tells you total pressure drop or total pressure required, the total head that you need from the pump should be enough to raise the pressure from P1 to P2 and to raise the elevation from HS to HD, and should be enough to withstand any frictional pressure loss due to the pipe, and should be enough to accelerate the velocity. So that's kind of calculate overall pressure drop or overall required pressure by your pump. Good? Okay. So there's the head of the system. One way to estimate it. Okay. So if you have a system, some kind of piping, and you want to know if your pump will be required how much head, you use this equation. Once you know the head, then you know, and you want to know what kind of flow rate you need, right? Then you can go back. So you know that, okay, system head, and you know flow rate that you want. So let's say system head is that much flow rate that, oh, maybe that's too high flow, that's flow rate that you want. Then you know what is the impeller size, correct? Okay. Almost done. Yes.
Before you get too far away from the curve, you put the pump curve back up. That curve is probably out of a pump catalog, and it's representative of a pump like they say up here in the right. It's spelled out on the specifications. There's a curve number that goes with it. If you're ordering a pump that's a significant cost and is really critical to your system, you need to request a certified curve from the manufacturer. And they will run tests on your pump under your conditions and give you a set of curves that fits your pump that you're buying. We ran water flood pumps in the Middle East at 125,000 barrels a day injection. That's 3,700 gallons a minute. everything is critical. So for what we're talking about here, and for a lot of smaller pumps like you use inside a battery or something like that, these pump curves will be good for general use, lower volumes, and so on like that. But if you really get up bigger money, then you need to request certified curves on your pump.
Pay more, right? Or how much more?
You're gonna pay more, but
10%. Yeah, you eventually have to pay more and get the test at your condition. Thank you for this, and please keep adding it. Okay. Edge system example, pressure component. This is a calculation example. Calculate the system head for pumping water from one tank to another tank. So change in pressure from P2 to P1. Put it in. This is the conversion factor 2.31. They explain it. That's to change to feed. We go over the unit conversion early on. You remember that 2.31 something. You remember that, and you will know where's that from, right? If not, please read it. Okay, that's where we get 2.31. We have to quiz at the end. That's 5 minutes, okay? If you leave, come back quick. Okay, so we put the number in, and this another way we put all the number in and put everything in, do the calculation, and done. So that's an example for this part. You will read it, and if you can do this one, basically I want to ask, do we have enough available net positive suction head or not? You do some calculation and you tell me. Use the chart, and that's that. Okay. You practice more in the homework. Let's go over Hazen-Williams equation. Who have not used it before? No one, right? Everyone use it. Who? Zheng Li, did you use Hazen-Williams before?
I think so.
You think so? From what class? Where's the sign-up sheet? Did you everyone sign? Okay, let me have the name. Don't remember every name. Okay, take off. Where did you learn about Hazen-Williams? That you did? Did you? Stan, did you learn it from During? Production and drilling. And is it fair enough to just test you because you learned it already? Right? Chris? That's two Chris, two of you. You learned it already, right? Hazen-Williams. Okay. First, Chris on the left side of mine. So this equation is for oil or water? Water. Okay, and you know how to substitute the value. Of course, you will review it, and the equation should be given. I don't expect you to memorize the equation. Okay. So the flow is turbulent. Density and viscosity is for water at 60 Fahrenheit. Okay. Then we put everything in. C value, diameter, velocity, then get the answer out. Okay. Most of you should learn about this already. I will do again, and it's too easy, I think, because you did it already, right? Good? Can I skip? And you have my notes, okay? And you will do homework about this just to practice, okay? Hazen-Williams equation, Chris, another Chris, what do you get from that? Pressure drop. Frictional pressure loss, right? For water case, okay? If you use oil, your pressure drop should be more than what you get from Hazen-Williams equation. It is empirical based, okay? And you have C value, C factor. It depends on what kind of pipe you use, and you want to know the assumption. What I emphasize here, the assumption is you have turbulent flow. If you have laminar flow, Chris, which one? Okay, let's Chris with the hand. If you have laminar flow, what do you do? How do you calculate your pressure drop? If you have laminar flow in a pipe, how do we calculate pressure drop? Hazen-Williams equation, is that valid for laminar flow?
No.
No. So what do we do? Use another equation. What is that? Friction factor equation. You remember that we calculate friction factor from friction factor is what? 16 or Reynolds number, and you use 2F rho v square over d to calculate minus dPdc. Did you study that already? Fair to test? Okay, so if that test, we will go over it. I don't test you right away, but that will be one of the content to calculate frictional pressure loss. So just to tell you, Hazen-Williams equation is good only for water. Do you flow water or oil? You flow, most of the time you flow not pure water, not water at 60 Fahrenheit, right? So what do you need to learn about Hazen-Williams equation? Chris? Okay, next to Chris. What do you need to know about Hazen-Williams equation? It's just for water. If you use it for oil, it doesn't do you any good, does it? Do you want to know about it? If you do you some good, what is that? Marisa? So if you use oil, your oil viscosity is more than water viscosity. Or if your colleagues use oil, they do some sophisticated calculation and get your pressure drop. Is there any use of that equation, Marisa? No, not at all. We will give you the order of magnitude. Yes, it will give you the order of magnitude. Let's say you use Hazen-Williams equation and you find that, okay, pressure drop is 20 psi. They use their calculation with oil and they tell you pressure drop is 20 psi. Now is the time for you to question that. Because if you use oil, like let's say oil have viscosity of 10 centibar, water is just 1 centibar, right? So if you use oil and you get the same pressure drop as water, doesn't matter what kind of simulator that they use. Doesn't matter if he or she have PhD, work 20, 30 years, you ask the question, you don't say they are wrong, but you say, okay, I did the same calculation for water case, it gives me 20 psi. I use Hazen-Williams equation, which is very easy and very difficult to make a mistake. Of course, you may make a mistake. And I get 20 psi. And they also get 20 psi, but you expect that they will have a lot more pressure drop than this. So you politely explain your point and somehow professionally somehow make your point come across, okay? So if both methods give you the same number, but one is for viscous oil, another one is for just water, there should be some mistake happen. Maybe you did a mistake, maybe he or she made a mistake, or both of you make mistake. Okay. So this equation, it has some use. It gives you the order of magnitude. Don't skip it. It is important. Marisa, you agree? Okay. Now it is important, right? Okay. This is a factor, C factor to use in Hazen-Williams equation, and you study this already. And by the way, every equation that we give you, if it doesn't have a direct application, you can always use it to give a order of magnitude, double check. Okay? So this Hazen-Williams equation, this tell you, okay, if we have what kind of pipe, seamless steel, fiber, cement, what kind of C value we use. Okay, who did I not ask? What's your name?
Landon.
Landon? Why do we have different C value?
Because different materials have different frictional coefficients.
Is that about roughness? Is that about roughness? Yes. Okay. So C value has to do with roughness of the pipe. Roughness, different roughness cause different pressure drop for turbulent flow. Okay, next to you, what person? What's your name?
Nick. Nick.
Okay. What do you mean with this laminar flow? View roughness, do you anything?
Use the F value.
So view roughness change any track of track has a university skill I think. Okay, view roughness give you different friction factor for laminar flow. Yes or no?
Yes.
So you are saying if I have laminar flow, if the pipe become very rough or slightly rough, the pressure drop should be different.
Yes, if you have different flow.
If I have laminar flow, different pipe roughness do anything for pressure drop or not? Okay. What's your name? The student in red shirt.
Matt?
Matt?
Yeah.
Will roughness do anything for laminar flow?
No,
Why not?
because the frictional factor for laminar flow is just a function of Reynolds number, and it's laminar flow, assuming Reynolds number is the same versus vacuum.
You agree? Dick, right? You agree with that?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. For laminar flow, roughness doesn't do you anything. Okay? Roughness play a role when you have turbulent flow. Okay? So this kind of conceptual question you need to know. Okay? Good. Let's move on. Question for me, question for me, question for me. You good at the C factor? So roughness do some kind of difference in pressure drop for turbulent flow. Laminar flow, oh I don't have the chart. Okay, look at this chart. Laminar flow is this line. Okay, regardless of the roughness. But if you have turbulent flow, different line, you have different line for different roughness. Okay. We are about to have the quiz, but I didn't cover everything in the quiz. So let's cover that part in the quiz. Okay. I have some pause so that we can go over something that's in the quiz. Okay, now you kind of pay attention, right? We don't watch any more video. PD type and centrifugal type, you know it, right? Okay, our question. And you can tell me which picture is for which type of pump, right? PD or centrifugal, you know that, right? The next part that I want you to know is kind of split. Whether it's axially split or radially split. Look at this one. This is a centrifugal pump that is radially split. Okay. This one is axially split. Of course, memorize the picture. Okay. So that one is axially split. I will try to go over everything about the pump next time and then finish. For axially split, pump casing is split axially into upper half and lower half. Okay, this is centrifugal pump. Okay, look at the split. So this part, you see this part, right? If you remove the bulb over there, you have upper half and lower half. So that's axially split. You got it? Okay. So the advantage is pump internal can be inspected by simply remove the top case. Okay. And then no need to remove the rotor, relatively inexpensive for 3 stage or more. So it's inexpensive. That is axial split. I understand that the lecture may not be very well connected, but we try to cover everything that is going to be in the quiz, okay? You should be fine with that. So this advantage is it has non-uniform thermal expansion. Okay? Because the shape is not uniformly distributed, right? So different part has more meat or more metal. Another part maybe has less metal. So when it's expand, it's not going to expand uniformly. So when that happens, you have temperature limit. If you go over this, due to the non-uniform thermal expansion, it will do something bad with the pump. So axially split, that picture, okay, that picture is axially split, has a temperature limit because it has non-uniform thermal expansion. So non-symmetrical shape and irregular casing gasket limit to lower pressure, 3,600 psig. Okay. If you have radially split, casing is perpendicular to the shaft center line. It can go with higher temperature and higher pressure than the axially split. So when your bolt is radially distributed like this, so you can hold more pressure. Good. You can hold more pressure with that. And you have more uniform thermal expansion. So radially split pump can work with the more temperature without the problem of non-uniform thermal expansion. Good? Okay, that's the message. It's very expensive for 3 or more stage. So the axially split is cheaper. Okay, that's the pump. And you should see more picture of the pump. There are different kind of pump. And this second part of the lecture talk about the centrifugal pump. Okay, vertically suspended, between bearing, overhang. So it's just different type. Okay, this overhang. This part is outside. You have a vertical model, horizontal model, between bearing. So this it's just different kind of pump. Pump is similar to separator. It can have multi-stage. Okay, you can have stage 1 and stage 2, stage 3. Okay, for multi-stage pumping. Axially split, radially split. You know it, right? And you should be ready for the quiz. And you know which one is positive displacement, which one is centrifugal. Basically, everything in this slide is centrifugal. And this axially split, radially split is centrifugal. Everything in here is centrifugal. Okay. This thing, centrifugal. Centrifugal, centrifugal. Everything here, centrifugal. Okay. What about this one? Is it centrifugal pump? Yes, it is. It is centrifugal pump. And this kind of multi-stage thing is centrifugal pump. Inline vertical pump, centrifugal pump. Okay. Centrifugal pump. So the PD pump is the one that you see in the video. This kind of thing is PD pump. It has rotating part or circulating motion, but liquid go in between the gap. Okay. So screw, sliding vane, progressive cavity, lobe type. You remember the lobe type? I think you have seen the video. The lobe type is centrifugal or PD? PD, right? Okay. And that thing, you have seen it is PD. Okay. Screw is PD. It's not centrifugal. Okay. Multi-phase pump, that's kind of screw, twin screw. So it's PD. And I have 4 more minutes. So now you know about PD and centrifugal pump, right? Okay, we cover everything in quiz. Let's go back to the calculation thing a little bit more. I may not be able to go over everything. Just some important equation, just only one. I want you to be able to tell me the difference between fanning and Moody friction factor. Okay. If you use Moody chart and you have 64, that's Moody friction factor, okay? 64 over Reynolds number, that's Moody friction factor. If it is 16, that is fanning friction factor. You're good? Okay. And how do we calculate pressure drop? Okay, one more question. This is the example from Buster Lightfoot, Transport Phenomena book, and many of you should already have seen this. Did you? Matt?
I haven't seen this textbook.
Did you study this in fluid dynamics
Yeah.
already? So we will go over this example next time, but if you have some time, read it. Next time there will be no quiz about this one, but in the exam we should, okay? So it tells you how we do the unit conversion thing, okay? It tells you how do we combine all the elbow, everything together. And of course, you need to know how to read the chart. Matt, did you learn how to read the chart somewhere else earlier? Which class? Drilling?
Fluid mechanics.
And drilling? And drilling. Okay. So next time we should be able to go through this quickly. Okay. I have 2 more minutes before the quiz. Please give them this. Don't look at it yet, okay? You can look at the back. You can write it at the back. Who don't have it? Who don't have it print yet? Okay. Don't have time to discuss about that. Okay, let's start. And you have 5 minutes until 12:20 and 30 seconds. It doesn't take you that long. Each question has a penalty if you don't do it correctly. Okay. The first one has -4. Okay. If you did it wrong, correct, you get 4. Don't try to guess, but you should be fine. And everything we just covered a couple minutes ago. You don't have to submit yet. You can spend more time. Make sure that you write your name. Okay? Make sure that you write your name. If you don't have name, you will get 0. sure that you have your name, okay?
How much is that from that picture? That's that picture on the screen.
Who haven't submitted yet? You still have 2-3 minutes more. Make sure that you write your name.